Kailihle Khumalo, SABC reporter, standing by from the address, and he is joined by Deputy Minister Bantu Holomisa. Kailihle, it is a very serious conversation, the stability of the AU, and one that the Thabo Mbeki Foundation has taken serious for many years. Is there a renewed sense of hope that the incoming chairperson of the Commission can turn things around when we look at the continent's security crisis?
Well, absolutely, Oliver. It's been quite a very insightful day here in Magaliesburg, as you know that the issue of peace and security remains absolutely fundamental if you talk about development, but also factoring in those hotspots in the African continent, whether you're looking at the current situation in Sudan. Just a short while ago, there was a panel discussion really just looking at the current humanitarian catastrophe that is unfolding in Sudan. So one of the biggest challenges that will be facing their new leadership in Addis Ababa at the AU. As you know, that with these elections, there'll be a new leadership. So the issue of peace and security would be one of the main ones. But joining us now is South Africa's Deputy Minister for Defence, General Holomisa. Once again, Deputy Minister, thank you so much indeed for your time. Let's look at this session. I mean, we've heard quite a lot about the situation in the Red Sea, the calamity in Sudan. And we know that South Africa has been involved in terms of peacemaking and the peacekeeping. And I would imagine that this is a massive issue that we should never turn a blind eye on.
That's precisely why there was a clarion call here that the AU has to pull up its socks, because some of the structures which were established or where they agreed to put them in place, some of those structures have not been effective, especially the peacekeeping missions. The issue of Red Sea as well as Sudan, yes, it's a complicated one. In the Red Sea, you will see that there's Russia, there's USA, all these big shots are there with their ships and guns. But in Sudan, I think they can learn a little bit from what South Africa did before 1994, or rather when we took a decision to say there must be a cessation of hostilities. Let's go around the table. They need someone or a country to sponsor that. I think they will be able to find each other, but you listen to them. They are hardliners there.
Deputy Minister, obviously another big issue, the current situation in the DRC, the eastern parts of Congo. We know once again South Africa is very much involved through the SADC mission that has been deployed to try and restore stability and make sure that there is long-lasting peace there. How is it going so far?
Well, as you know, President Ramaphosa and my Minister of Defense were in Angola, I think last month, to monitor the signing of a ceasefire. So far, it's a little bit quiet, but so it would appear those rebels are following the peace accord or the deal which was signed in Angola. But our troops are on the alert.
And just once again, before I let you go, Deputy Minister, we know that we are on the verge of these elections for the new leadership at AU. I would imagine that surely that they have a massive task in terms of dealing specifically with the issue of peace and security, because you talk about Agenda 2063, you talk about African Continental Free Trade Area, but without a shadow of a doubt, you need peace to see development, to see economic integration.
Well, I hope that on the 14th, when I'm in, what's this country?
Ethiopia?
When I'm in Ethiopia, yes. I will be having a meeting there with all ministers of defense in Africa. And I'm sure your question will feature much, because we have to resuscitate the institutions around AU, which are going to be monitoring all these agreements.
And just before I let you go, Deputy Minister, what can we learn from such gatherings in terms of ensuring that there is a long-lasting peace, especially now because these are very untenable times? You look at what's happening in Ukraine, you look at what's happening in the Middle East, the escalation of the conflict, and the most vulnerable are always affected, the women, the children, those living with disability, and many others, the civilians generally.
I liked the approach of President Mbeki through his foundation, because whatever resolutions or points raised here, he has already said to me they are going to take it to AU and then other regional structures of the continent. At least there must be someone who are going to push them one by one. At least we'll finally get into the finality of these matters. But I was also impressed yesterday when the Minister of International Relations of South Africa came here and outlined even the debate of whether the Africa will participate in the selecting of 2 countries to represent Africa in the Security Council of United Nations.
All right. Deputy Minister, much appreciated for that and all the best. Thank you so much. So, Oliver, that's Deputy Minister Holomisa really talking about these challenges, but also looking at the way forward.